Right, so Tap Dogs is coming to London. You guys are starting. When is your first show?
October the 23rd
Okay.
through November the 10th.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And how are you guys feeling about that? When was the last time you performed in London?
I never have.
Oh wow.
This will be my first time as well.
I think it was back in 2010. 2010 that I did the show for 3 months here in the West End at the Novello. I was 18 then, so 27 now, so a big gap. So very, I guess, interested, looking to see what's going to happen this time. But I was so fresh then that it was very, very new.
Yeah, so it'll be a different experience.
Yeah, it's going to be
now.
totally different.
Okay.
A bit more mature.
Yes. And you?
No, I've never done it either. Yeah,
So this is your first?
first time in West End. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What was your favourite city to perform in and why?
Well, I mean, I only just started, so I've only been to South Africa. So this is my first tour. So yeah, South Africa is awesome, but I can't really answer this one.
I don't know. I would say Australia has always been my favorite, and I'm from the States, and now Australia is my sort of home. I'm a permanent resident there now.
Okay.
So I guess that's a big part of me going there and touring there and experiencing that. I met my girlfriend there, and yeah.
Okay.
That's,
So it's a good experience.
fell in love with it, yeah.
Yeah. And what about the audience? Do you find there is a difference from city to city, like how engaged they are, and you know how excited they get?
Yeah, definitely.
There
I think it definitely varies. Audiences in, say, China, they tend to have their mobile phones out a lot and sort of view the show through their phones, and, which is interesting. Obviously, if you got your phone, you can't really clap.
Of course.
So that's
silent.
interesting. So you finish a routine and there's like not much.
Yeah.
And then places like Johannesburg, which we just came from, really receptive audiences there.
Yeah.
Really sort of rowdy, and that helps us as well. Feed off each other, feed off the audience. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. In Cape Town, we played an arena. So set up on a riser platform in the center of an arena, and you have seats on the floor, and then the seats up around are like an aluminum sort of riser bleacher.
Tiered,
and towards the end of the show, when we come out and take our final bow, the people up in the top start stomping their feet, and the whole building just starts to rumble. And then it starts to feel like rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely different environment for the show. Okay. You guys, from your profiles, you all seem to have started dancing very, very young, which is kind of normal. What advice would you give somebody who was wanting to start out but just a little bit older? Because sometimes, like for instance, I figure skated, but I started at the age of like 11, 12, which is really old for, and I was fine with that. But what advice would you give somebody starting tap or any other kind of dance really as an older person?
I mean, as long as you're driven, I don't think that's something that can get in the way. I think it's not about when you start, it's about how you start and how you progress and how you receive information, and how driven you are and motivated as a person.
Yeah.
I think it's really just more about the content of your character, how hard you're willing to work towards something.
Yeah.
I know there have been a few guys that came through the show that maybe started tapping when they were 11, 12 years old as well. They didn't start at 3, 4.
Yeah.
And they've had careers as a professional tap dancer, traveling the world.
Yeah, totally. One of my friends from Brisbane, where I grew up, he's put a pair of shoes on probably when he was 15, I think.
Oh wow.
And he's a professional tap dancer, and he's awesome too.
Who's that?
Bill Simpson.
When did Kaylee start tapping? Remember, he started at like 21 or something. Kaylee and Kelsey.
I'm not sure.
Car?
Yeah.
LA?
Yeah, he started at like 18 or 17. He started like super late.
He's in a Nissan commercial in the States, tap dancing by himself.
Oh wow.
It's definitely more
So
it's your perception. Like
exactly.
I started teaching my grandfather when he was 63, and he made the local newspaper.
Oh,
So
amazing.
it's never too late.
It is never too late. Yeah, so that's the advice you would do. It's never too late.
Yeah, and
Okay.
and take it step by step. You know, you can just do it for fun in the beginning and see how you go. And
Yeah.
if you want to take it all the way, then you take it all the way.
Yeah. Okay. So, I know a couple of you have worked with Daniel
Yes.
on Happy Feet too. So
Happy too, yeah.
that's really cool. But how does that differ from doing something like that to live performance, and which is your favourite?
It differs greatly. My favourite is definitely performing live on
Yeah.
stage to a live audience with,
Okay.
you know, with cast members that you can bounce off. There's nothing
Yeah.
better than that. Finishing, you know, a performance, you've given everything you can give, and everyone's sort of happy and receiving it well. That's great.
Yes.
But Happy Feet was very different. We were in like full body lycra suits with motion capture things all over
Yeah.
us, and 60 cameras on the roof, and you're like real time being a penguin, like waddling there, and you can see yourself on the screen as a penguin. Very interesting. But yeah, great experience
Good
too.
experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't hire you because you look like a penguin.
You're Richie, yeah?
Richard, okay, so throughout your time on Tap Dogs,
Yeah.
you have played 3 different roles.
Yeah. Oh.
So how do you approach... Four. Okay. How do you approach each new role? I mean, do you take inspiration from your predecessor, or how do you make it your own?
Well, I guess they all kind of intertwine, like all the roles as you're doing them, they all kind of fit in with each other like a puzzle, like they all bounce off each other. And I guess throughout the years, I guess you get to grow with that and you feed off that and you actually watch the show as you're doing it. It's definitely like a process in getting, sometimes you don't really know everything that you need to know for that role, but you jump in and get it done. Start from start to finish. Like I just did the foreman role, which is his role. I understudied that, and I was terrified. I was really terrified.
You
But like,
you nailed it though.
but it was awesome. The fears went away and just got through it, and they all were behind me. Like before the show, the half-hour call. Like even we had a full rehearsal for me to sort of settle into that role, and then even before the show, during a warm-up, we were like going over numbers that I felt were necessary to run through, and yeah.
And do you feel
Teamwork.
that you can actually put something of yourself into it, or is it just not a copy, but
No, you
just
have to.
it is?
Yeah, I there's some things that I've watched him do and say that foreman role, and I kind of go, okay, I'm going to use some of that, but I have to be myself as well. Like you can't sort of get lost in the character. Each character is based on our actual
Real.
characteristics and our personalities, but we mesh with the actual character in the show.
Yeah, that's cool. So it's a mixture of both, really.
It's a mixture of both, yeah.
Okay. Tap Dogs is the longest running tap show in the world. What is it that you think makes it so popular? How has it been so successful?
Reed, you want to take that one?
I just think it's, especially from like any tap dance show that I've ever seen, it's just completely different. It's a really great mixture of tap dance and rock and roll. Only having a small cast, having 6 tap dancers on stage at a time really has a very unique connection with the performers and the audience. And yeah, it's just a very unique show. It's an amazing set, amazing cast. Great numbers, great music, and I think that it all meshes together really well.
I think it goes back to perception again. What we've been sort of taught is, what tap dancing is, soft shoot, top hat and canes, and I don't know. In expectations, like when you have expectations of what you think it's going to be, and it's totally not that, and your mind's blowing. Like, that's not tap dancing. What is that? It's like
Something a bit more interesting, not a preconceived idea.
it's tap dancing.
Yeah.
Part of the reason it's been so successful for so long, and it's been able to transplant from country to country seamlessly. There's no dialogue. It's just 81 minutes, no intermission. of just communicating everything via rhythm.
Yeah.
There's comedy, there's gags every 5 minutes. The audience is laughing. They're just escaping whatever their life typically is for an hour and a half in the theater. And it doesn't require any spoken language to understand what we're doing.
Yeah, so it translates anyway.
Yeah, for people to come in and enjoy themselves, you know, you don't need to understand any language in the world.
It's been to over 300 cities. I think.
Yeah.
I think as well.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I think as well the set is so cleverly designed that we literally build it ourselves. But it starts as nothing and looks it's like this little red box that he opens the stage on with a wall, and then by the end there's ladders and ramps and scaffold, and
So the audience gets to see the creation of the set as well.
it's so cleverly designed.
Yeah.
It's
It's
very
incredible.
clever. Yeah.
It's a giant puzzle that we
Yeah.
get to unfold and build in front of the audience.
That's
And
amazing.
if you see a crew member, we'll talk to that crew member and make sure they're not seeing the next show.
Yeah.
Because 95% of the action that you see and the things being constructed and built and moved is the 6 dancers that you see on stage. We're doing almost everything.